Alright, today we're working on CNC mill repair. So this is the head off of the CNC mill, and I didn't think I was going to get this involved in it, but of course like every other project we did. But I think I figured out a plan, and I think it's a relatively good plan. We'll see how it works out. And it's something that I've never seen done before, and you know, this round column mill is not the ideal thing for CNC. I've said before that I converted it so that I could learn along the way and find out if it was going to be a viable option for my shop. It actually has produced some pretty good parts until it broke down, and now, you know, it's still not ideal, and maybe I'm wasting my time and money on it, but we're going to continue to play with it and see what we can do with it. So anyway, this is the head. And what I've decided to do, I think I explained before, I originally was gonna mount my ball screw out here to raise and lower it, and then tuck the motor in beside and everything, and I've changed that. So what I've done is the spindle's back in it, and this is the way the bottom portion would have originally been, except it was flipped over. And the main purpose of this is just for the factory depth stop, you know, and the newer mills have the same thing. So what I've done is I flipped it over, and when I set it up, it will be set up in this configuration right here, because this gives me a nice flat surface that I'll have to check it, but I believe is parallel or perpendicular to the spindle, which is what I want. And that's going to be where I mount my linkage to raise and lower this. And what my plan is to take my ball screw, and I'm going to actually set it up into the column here, so it's going to be in there. So I fabricated me a plate, 3/8 flat, a couple of pieces of angle iron, 4 pieces of angle iron, welded onto the edges of it, and this matches the inside contour of this column. So I went back, and this this casting itself had a rounded hole here, and the same way on the top. It was, you know, oval. So on the bottom I took the die grinder and just ground it out so I can move my plate, slide my plate back fairly far. And on the top I set it up in the mill, and I just milled it out. Took 3/8 standard end mill and carbide, and I just machined that out, so I've got a square, not really a mounting surface, but I've got a clearance surface on there, so that this will set up perpendicular or parallel with the spindle is what I'm after. So the way this fits in here is it will set in through the back of the column just like this. Everything clears so that it will slide in and through. And it will go in here, if I can get my hands right. And it mounts just like that. And this extends a little bit past down here. It also extends out the top a little bit. We'll move it around so you can see that here in a bit, or you'll see it as we progress with this. But this one is not a clearance issue. The top I may have to trim back. We'll see once we get everything fitted up. But anyway, that fits back there. This, as I said before, will be our mounting surface. And we're going to take our ball screw, and I don't have the top bearing on. This is too long and will have to be shortened. But it's going to set in here just like this. And we'll bolt up right there, so that our spindle will be inside. Now the only thing that I'm even mildly concerned with on lubrication for this is there's a grease zert on the ball screw itself, so I will either have to add an access port here through the side so that I can grease that, or I'll have to figure out some sort of an extension so that I can grease it through the bottom, because I want to keep that well greased up. But anyway, this will set here just about like that. We've got clearance from this portion, and our linkage will come off of the back of our ball screw, which is in here, or that mounting surface, and we'll just bolt to say linkage straight on down, and then we'll affix it to this bottom portion here. And it just has to clear this pulley and belt. So we'll get that tucked up probably just about there, and then to mount our stepper motor, we'll mount the bottom, or the gear end of the stepper motor down here on the bottom, and we can tuck that gear motor right up in here, so it's vertically in here. And we'll use one of our original linkages, and we'll have to figure out positioning of that. But it can mount right alongside here someplace, and just so that we can tension our belt. So we'll have to figure out where it is, and we'll just bolt it into the casting here, probably with 2 bolts. and that's the way we'll mount that. The top of the ball screw will have to be shortened up so that there's no clearance issues coming out the top. The only thing that may be an issue there is the belt tension adjustment pivots around the main column, and it's a little bit wide, so that may be the only reason I have to shorten up this the top of my plate going through, and we'll see when we get that far. But what I'm going to do is I've already laid out the center line and everything on to what I believe to be parallel with the on all axes with the spindle. I'm going to go ahead and drill and tap for our bottom bearing, which is 4 bolt holes. I'm going to leave the top float free for right now to make sure we get alignment right before I do those. And what's going to happen is on those 4 little mounting tabs, we're just going to drill through the side of the casting on each side once we locate those. We're going to get it situated. I'll drill and mount the bottom 2 and use them as a pivot, and then the top we'll let float free until we find our alignment with everything, and then we'll go ahead and drill and permanently mount it. So I think it's a pretty good system. I think it'll work. It's going to protect the ball screw, keep it up out of the way, and make a really nice compact unit in that respect. So we'll just see the motor sticking on the side. We've done away with all of the manual stuff. If we have to go back and add a counterweight system on this, we'll probably go back to the original spring that mounts on the other side. And if that's the case, why the pinion that ran through here and engaged on the teeth on the back of the spindle, that shaft stuck out here to engage all of the rest of the mechanism out here. We'll just cut that shaft off flush and mount everything to the other side. If we have to do something to retain it from going on through, which I don't believe we do because it steps down. So if that becomes an issue, then we can shoulder that, do some sort of a retainer on there, machine the side of the casting. But I don't think we'll have to do any of that. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and drill and tap my plate and get that bottom bearing mounted up, and we'll go from there. So here's the latest progress. We've got our ball screw mounted in here on the bottom, and we've got our bracket mounted in here just on the bottom. So this whole assembly will still pivot. I don't know if that's going to show up on camera or not, but we've got 3/8 of an inch of movement at the top where we're pivoting it back and forth. And I left it that way for right now until we actually get alignment. So this is a quill set in it, and this is the way the quill is going to be. I'll have my rod coming off the back, or my bracket coming off the back that's going to extend up through the column and hook into the mount for the ball screw there. So the next thing I'm going to do is probably go ahead and shorten the screw. Let me get this quill out of here because we see how that's going to fit. We see that we've got clearance there. Get this out of the way. We've got our bottom ball screw mounted in here on the bottom of our bracket. I don't know how well you can see that either. But alignment looks pretty good as far as spacing down, because our bracket to mount our motor will sit right here. So we've got enough adjustment on the top end. And this is the ball screw mount itself. Like I say, the next thing is probably to shorten up the ball screw itself. Turn it all the way around here so we've got, this is the top of our plate. Now everything looks real good. The belt tensioner adjustment that pivots around here, I'll have to get this aligned to make sure we've got clearance through there, but there's enough clearance on it that at the very worst I'd have to notch out the top of this plate. I don't even think I have to shorten it up. So I'm probably going to mount the nut clear up as far as I can, which gives us just about the full travel. So I think we'll go ahead and get it mounted. This ball nut's going to get turned around the other way. I want the top of the nut to come up on the top, and we'll put the mount down below so it's actually backwards. But that's the way that goes. Even if we were to leave this tall, which we're not going to, why there's still clearance for our pulley to mount on top, and we've got enough space there that we can set our ball nut clear up at the top, and that will still work fine. So clearance wise, everything looks real good. What I will probably do after everything else is all assembled is I'll find out where the access point is or where the zert fitting is on the ball nut, and we'll probably cut an access hole just to run a grease gun in there. Same way to grease the quill there's no real way to do that, and I don't know that it's really necessary. It's made it this many years with not any real noticeable wear in there, so I'm not overly concerned about that. But I may very well, since we have the hole going in, this mounting hole goes all the way through, and we may very well just put a grease zert in there and then cut a grease groove into the quill itself in some sort of a spiral manner or something like that, just to allow that to be greased on a regular basis. So I think that might be a good improvement. But the next thing, like I say, I think I'll go ahead and shorten up my ball screw to where I think it needs to be, and we'll cut it full length. We'll cut it to length with a just with a die grinder with a cutoff wheel, because this is going to be hardened on, at least on the outside, will be a case hardened, and then we'll set it up in the lathe, and we'll have to hard turn for the bearing fit over it, and then our snap ring groove, which we should be through that case hardening by then, so shouldn't be a big issue. So there's a piece of ball screw we cut off. Just took an abrasive disc and cut it off. It's tough as can be. It takes a little bit to cut through it. But then I've gone back, machined the other end to match, and we've got it cut back. Just took carbide tooling and just very carefully, fairly light cuts and fairly high speed until we get the threads off. And once you break through, it's not too bad. But the case on this one ended just about the time I wanted to do a finished turn. So anyway, we got our machine down. So let's go ahead and put her together. Actually, I have to put the ball screw back together. And we took a little manila cardstock and we made our sleeve to fit on here. Now we want this to go back on this way, and I think we'll start from the bottom, which was the factory machined end. They probably did a better job than I did on this end, because I took, and where I had a little rough edge, I just ran it across the buffer just to knock that burr off of there. So I may have rounded that a little bit. I don't want any balls to escape, so we'll do it with this end. Hopefully, anyway. And if we run it through just like that. Trying to make it so you can see, but also, if I do happen to drop any balls, I'd like to drop them on the bench rather than all over the floor. So we're just slowly working it down through there. My cardstock is awful tight on here, but that's all right. Hopefully, right back on. And right on down through. Okay, so there's our perpendicular end, our top end. I didn't have to take the bottom bearing off to install it. This one's going to go on just like that. And we've got our little E-clip that goes on there. Little circlips that's down in there. Got our bearing on. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Have our ball nut on there. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I'm going to go ahead, turn the camera off, and go ahead and install this, and we'll show you a picture of when we've got it initially in place. Now I'm not going to go back and drill these holes. I'll drill and tap them in the plate once I get alignment on everything and make sure we've got it aligned right. Then we'll go ahead and drill and tap these. And in this instance, I'm concerned with side-to-side movement. And in reality, as long as I've centered it up, because I'd measured on the center of my block. So as long as I've got it centered up there, I'm probably okay to go ahead and drill and tap it. And the only alignment issue is going to be as it pivots this way. I've tried to bring you in pretty close here so you can see what we've accomplished, or what we think we've accomplished. So this is our bearing mount on this end with our gear on it. And if we turn it around, if I get these out of the way, so I quit banging into them. We turn it around on this end. We've got our other bearing mounted. We're not drilled down. We still have movement side to side, and this is our actual bearing here. So the way I plan on actuating this, and I'm not going to affix this into place until I do final alignment and make sure we've got. So I want to mount my linkages on the bearing block, and or on the ball screw mounting block. And the way I plan on doing that is we're going to space it up, because we have to have our actual activating bar above our gear, because it's got to clear the gear on the bottom side. So this is going to be a spacer, which is a 3/4 inch spacer. And then I plan on using this same material. I've got a long piece that will mount right on top of that. That's the plan anyway. So once we mount that on top, why, when it is turned all the way around, again, actually let's turn it the other way. We've got it mounted like this. This bar is going to protrude down there like that, so it comes out here. And in theory, hopefully in actual practice when I fit it, and it looks like it is, when the screw, when we turn the screw, why, it's going to advance that whole bar assembly down, and you can see it moving down with the bar. And when it's aligned right, and I'm just holding things in place, why, it does clear that, it does clear the gear. And I think the belt too, it's awful close, so I'm probably going to space it up another, probably 3/16 of an inch it looks like. And I'll do that back at the bearing block, so this will be spaced up a little bit more. And then this will activate right there on the bottom of this portion here. And what I'll do is, once I make sure I've got to clamp everything in place, make sure this is perpendicular to our spindle, and then we've got a flat surface here, then we'll drill and tap this bar, and probably have to countersink or machine off all the ribbing and everything that's on this bottom side, so that we can get two nice flat mounting surfaces for probably 2 button head cap screws is probably what we'll use. You know, something that doesn't make a whole lot of difference. There's clearance and everything, but we just want to get that up far enough so that we can get our belt around there, and then some sort of a little guard we'll try and get in place there if we've got room for it, because we do want to guard this end. So that's going to be the project for tomorrow, is to get it at least that far. And once we get that, make sure alignment is right and we've got travel that we want it, then we'll go ahead and drill our top 2 mounting holes and tap them so it'll be permanently affixed. And then we can take it apart and paint it up, and clean everything up and paint it up and reassemble it. But once we get that in position, why, then we'll go ahead and figure out where exactly we want our motor mount here on the side, and we can drill and tap the bottom of the casting for that. And then Bob's your uncle. We're getting awful close. So we'll be back after this little project again tomorrow. I'm kind of getting excited. It looks like it's going to be a real good installation, so I'm really happy with it so far. Unless something pops up to bite me in the butt, why, everything looking pretty good. So hopefully you found this a little bit useful, a little bit of entertainment for you over the holidays here. And comments or suggestions, leave them in the comment section for me below. And as always, guys, thanks for taking the time to watch.